Hey guys, it's Joy. So I don't know if this is actually going to be a super motivational video, probably not the opener that you wanted. However, this idea has been rolling around in my head for the last couple of days or couple of weeks, and then I got a comment on my last video asking me to do a video on motivation after a break from school. Whether, I mean, it could be, summer, but in this particular case, it was our Christmas break. And I had just mentioned in my mommy tag video that it was a rough start back, and it really was. It has been for all of us involved. And I will just say, I know that, I plan on that, and this is how I do it. So first of all, I just want to make mention that when my oldest was in kindergarten or starting kindergarten, he was 5 and I had a 3 and a 1-year-old. So during nap time, what our school time looked like was like a reading lesson and a math lesson. And then when all the kids were up, usually we would do like some glorified preschool stuff, like with counting and, ABCs and just easy stuff or games or whatever. Like it was just very laid back, and we probably did like 3 to 4 days a week. That was what kindergarten looked like. Each year after that, of course, it got a little harder, and then I feel like our experience by 3rd grade was when we did school, rain or shine. Like every day we did school, and we kind of formed our life around school instead of school around our life, if that makes sense. And that was okay, because honestly, we were getting enough of what we were doing before that. But 3rd grade, I felt like just up the ante. I had 2 kids then doing formal school, I guess you would call it. And because I had a 3rd grader and a kindergartner. And it really I felt like that was when it really hit home for me that I was like, oh, we really have to, like, this is it. This is like my job, like I am a full-time homeschooler, and this is my job. And so if somebody wants to do something during the day, well, maybe not. Let's do it in an evening or something. I really felt like I needed to set that time aside for our schooling, and nothing could really interfere with that. Now, we still go on field trips, we still do things, but I really felt like 3rd grade was the year where we would go on a field trip, but we would do our math in the car on the way there. Like we really just kicked it up a notch for us. So this year I have a 4th grader, a 1st grader, and like a pre-K student, and I feel like, I mean, it's pretty much routine. However, once you have a break, that routine gets forgotten. So you have to put the routine back in place. So we have been back in school for 3 full weeks. And those 3 weeks, the first week was the first week of January. And I had set Monday to begin, and then I realized my husband was going to have that day off. Well, guess what? We still did school, and Daddy just came along for the ride, so it was great. But that week, we were not back in classical conversations. And classical conversations for me really dictates, like, it's a good stress for me. Like, it's a good motivator for me, because I know my kids are going to be around other kids. There's just, I don't know, something for me that I need that really helps me with that. Okay, but that is beside the point right now, because we did not have CC that first week of January. So we kind of like eased our way back into school. And I really feel like once you've had a long break, you really kind of need a week like that, because when your kids go from like not doing any school at all to like full bore, like my kids just like are wiped out. And so I will say that is a really good idea, I guess you would say, that I'm giving to you, and maybe you already do that. But it is a good idea, like after break, to just ease back into it. Maybe just do like half of what you are gonna normally do for school or whatever. Then that second week, and usually that week goes fine for us, because, it's like, oh, they kind of drag their feet, but they know it's not gonna take very long, and so they're fine. The second week, when we really get back into it, they're tired. Their little brains have worked hard all day, and so by the end of that week, it's brutal. That's why I didn't do any YouTube videos during that time, because I was exhausted by the end of the day. Like, it's hard for them, it's hard for me. And so, but I will say, what my thought always is that first week when it's really hard is, because life is happening. It's not like perfect school every day. Like, I forget what happened that week, but there were a couple late nights and just different things like that. So it was hard. But what I will say is, just know that it takes about a week, maybe a little bit more, depending on how crazy your life is or whatever happens in that, to really establish that routine. So it's been 3 weeks that we've been back in school. It was just, and we had a crazy week this last week, but it was just probably Thursday. So we've had like one good day. Not good, you know what I mean? Like one day where they did not complain about school. They didn't say, oh, you know, when I said, okay, let's go down to the schoolroom, because that is hard for them to get back into routine. It just is. And so what I want to say to you is just be encouraged that when you are trying to get your kid into routine of doing school, you just have to be diligent for like a week and a half. And what I find that works for me is that will pay off, and then they will know what's coming, and then they just eventually stop complaining. We hope. So that is the thing. And I mean, there are still some hiccups going on right now, like with math with my oldest. I'm really, I don't know, like it's just hard. And so I'm looking at a different curriculum, and my husband's saying, I think we should really like stick with the one we have and work through it. And he needs to like up the ante. It's tough. Like, it's just tough because we have the freedom as a homeschooler to change our curriculum. Like, that's part of the beauty of it. But at the same time, like, I want to expect a lot from him, but I also want him to love it. So I'm in a balance right now of what to do. I'm in a quandary. So I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I might let you know if I do change it, but that is where we are at. And so I wanted to let you know, like, sometimes it is not easy to get back into a routine. I mean, my son's in 4th grade and it is still hard. And I mean, I don't expect that will change anytime soon, because I still have a hard time getting back into a routine after having a break. I do hope you find it helpful. So have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.